today's episode of DIY Man, I'm going to completely blow this project. Today, we're building this simple little wooden whistle. If you want to build one of these, a hardwood works best. Today, I'm using a scrap piece of oak that's about 8 inches long. To get started, I'm going to drill a hole in the end of this piece of wood. Because I don't have a drill press, I'm going to start with a smaller drill bit. I think this one was 1/4 inch. Next, I'll go ahead and step up that hole to 3/8 of an inch. And this one only needs to be 3 or 4 inches deep. Three or 4 inches is a pretty good depth, just don't go through the end of the board. Here's a look at that hole, and mine's just a little bit crooked, but that really won't matter for this project. Next we'll be making some cross cuts on the table saw, but before we can do that, we need to remove the riving knife. Let's go ahead and lower the blade so it cuts just above the edge of that hole, maybe like a 1/16th or 32nd of an inch. Then let's go ahead and move the fence 3/4 of an inch from the edge of the blade. Looks like we're ready to make some cross cuts now. From here, I'll start by making one cross cut, and I want the hole of the whistle to be up against the fence. For the rest of the cuts, I'll lower the blade 1/2 of a crank. Then I'll move the fence to the right just about 1 blade width. And we'll just repeat this process 4 or 5 times. And this is roughly what we're looking for right here. Let's go ahead and throw this guy in the bench vise. Then I'll go ahead and pull out one of my chisels, and I'm going to turn this little stair step area into more of an angled piece. Alright, let me pull this thing out so you can see something. See all these little frillies in here? We need to get rid of those, otherwise this whistle is not going to work correctly. And to do that, I'm going to use a little round file on the inside and then a flat file on the outside. Sandpaper works pretty good on the outside as well. Alright, check out how much better that looks. Next, we need to cut a small piece of a 3/8 inch dowel rod. I don't have any dowel rods laying around in my shop, so I'm going to take one of these pocket hole plugs and I'm going to grind it down to what I need. We just need a small round piece that's maybe a 1/2 inch long. Then, we'll flatten one of these round sides down just a little bit. And this is kind of the shape of piece we're after right here. As you can see, it's mostly round and then it just has a flat spot on top there. Let's go ahead and put some wood glue on these round sides. Next, let's slide it in the hole in the end of our whistle, and we want that flat spot to be pointed up towards the notch we made earlier. Alright, let's take a quick look at what we got here. As I mentioned before, the flat part of that little dowel is up on top, and then the end of it here is just at the back of this hole. Once this thing dries for a couple hours, we can go ahead and cut it to length, then it's ready to be shaped however we want it. now, I think I'll finish this out with a butcher block finish. I want something that's not going to give me cancer since I'm going to be planting my tulips on this thing. All right, now that the finish is dried, let's test this thing out. Works pretty good. That's a cool little project right there. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you smash that like button. Thanks for watching today's video, even though I blew it. Keep hitting that I believe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe.